Guys, I have amazing news. I got fake boobs. Reason number one, I had a breast deformity, which I had come to terms with for many years, but was a pain in the ass for a multitude of reasons. Like, it had me looking in the mirror sometimes and going, what the fuck? Reason two, I just thought it would be fun to have tickle bitties. Why am I telling you this? Because almost 4 years ago, I made a series of videos about The Idol, which was a ghastly, horrendous series of cringe and exploitative proportions.
You know what I think it is? I think you're gay.
I ain't gay.
But more importantly, was created by the sick and twisted mind of Sam LEVINSON. And those videos, where I dragged this man through the mud for his crappy ass show, actually saved my channel at a critical moment in my life where I honestly thought I was gonna have to give up on YouTube. But now I have reached a level of success that has improved my life in every single way possible. And that's thanks to you, the Nikki Carreon Truthers, carrying the flame. I love you so much, but also, hang on a minute, if we think about it, so did Sam LEVINSON. And so, this is a really full circle moment. The new season of Euphoria has just come out, and this time, he's not saving my channel, but he is paying for my boobs. Oh yeah, Sam, you're paying for these. Let's get some likes going in here, guys. Put it on Sam's tab. But with that out of the way, let's get into it. So, season 2 of Euphoria came out in January 2022, which is a fucking insane amount of time to go between seasons. I mean, the world has changed so drastically since then that it feels like this show aired in an alternate universe. Like, in 2022, I was living in my first apartment alone, yelling at my enemies online, and preemptively hating Sydney Sweeney because I was very jealous of her beauty and I felt like a chopped hoe. But obviously, let me stop freaking talking about myself. The media that people consume has metamorphosized into something entirely different. Like, we have people out here genuinely watching Fruit Love Island for entertainment. Guys, we used to be a nation. We used to be a country. Like, guys, at least in 2022, we were enjoying this problematic, yes, but artistically inspired show. Which, as you probably know, if you've clicked on this video, Euphoria has always been shrouded in controversy for reasons such as sexualizing teenagers. That's a pretty huge one. The question that the public asks is, why is Sam LEVINSON obsessed with showing graphic sex of characters? Holy fuck, it's so loud! Like, what is going on? Can't do shit. Of characters that are supposed to be minors. And hey, obviously, I and most of the people who are criticizing this are not being prudes. We are well aware that teenagers have sex, and that is something that is going to happen in media, but there are a plethora of ways to show it or allude to it that do not involve ogling actresses' bodies. That's what makes this hella creepy. Cause like, damn, just put them in college or something. Are college people not young? Is that not young enough for you, Sam? But this is not even to mention the egregious frequency at which this happens. In fact, the excessive nudity is a complaint that actually extends past the audience, because multiple actresses involved with the show have said they've outright had to tell Sam no to some of these obtuse, you know, butt out, titty out, vag out requests.
I need you to take a picture with your ass out and your back bent in with your pussy barely peeking through from a low angle with your face in it, winking with your tongue out and your feet in it.
Being normal about women just really hasn't been on Sam's agenda. Whether it be him pulverizing women on the show, and I don't even mean this sexually, I actually mean pulverizing them in a writing way. Which is crazy because the writing in season 1 was quite good. But it seems that Sam continually desires to knock the women characters down a peg. And it certainly doesn't help that Sam responds to these criticisms with a wave of a hand. And so all of this debauchery, this load of dookie, has led to the Euphoria cast and crew in 2026 seemingly in shambles. Zendaya has stopped working with Sam outside of the show when they used to be heavily creatively involved. In fact, she seemingly publicly rejected his ass at the season red carpet premiere. But even more assertively, we had Labyrinth, the show's composer, who produced the iconic soundscape of Euphoria. Euphoria is not shit without this fucking sound design here. He posted this on his story. People will comfortably lie in this industry and still call themselves honest people. So no cap, I decided to remove whatever music I had in it. I spoke to HBO, and as far as I know, we're cool. I left because, last truth, when I work for someone, their vision is paramount to me. But I don't let people treat me like shit. I'm done with this injury. Fuck Columbia. Double fuck Euphoria. I'm out. Thank you and good night. That is pretty fucking intense. And the fact that no cast member was like, we don't know what he's talking about. You know damn well they know exactly what he's talking about. Clearly, all these issues have made it so these talented workers feel like the goddamn real estate agent from SpongeBob. But anyways, now that you're caught up to speed on, the drama surrounding the show, let's talk about the actual episode that just came out, because it is a mess. Also, guys, let me know if you'd like me to do these videos weekly, like weekly commentary as the episodes are coming out, because I'd love to do that. Hashtag Sam Levinson pays for Nikki's boobs 2026. It's really the least he could do. I don't know. The episode begins with Rue smuggling drugs out of Mexico for Lori, who, if you don't recall, is a drug lord from season 2 who she owes a lot of money to because Rue had a suitcase filled with her drugs that she was supposed to be selling, but then her mom flushed them down the toilet before she got the chance to do so. And since then, apparently, her debt has been collecting interest. She also ends up having to abandon Lori's car at the border after it gets stuck on this fun little seesaw contraption. I'm not quite sure if people actually do this to illegally transport vehicles, but it is very creative. She tries to get it to slide on down this ladder and it does not work. And this is when we see this title screen. We're not just Euphoria anymore. We're El Euphoria. Si se puede. So she takes off into the Texan desert with a huge supply of fentanyl until she finds an Amish family who kindly house her and feed her under the guise that she is a college student that is writing a college paper about how the border is letting evil, illegal aliens in and they're ruining the world. These people are also, of course, devoutly religious, which does become important later. And before Rue takes off, each member of the family says goodbye to her, but our attention is clearly being drawn to the eldest daughter, who drives Rue to a bus stop and tells her that she's never been on the internet, which might be categorically placed in the top 10 most unrealistic things that have ever happened in this show. As many people online have already pointed out, this girl has iPhone face. This girl has the face of somebody who grew up playing scary Michael Jackson games on Roblox. If you started to play Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter around her, she would fold like those dudes with goofy goobers.
Goofy, goobers, yeah!
Whatever though, okay? Rue says that she would trade lives with this Amish girl in a heartbeat. No explanation for this yet, but we'll see where this goes. Then we see her watch as Rue rides off into the sunset. Do I ship this iPhone-faced Amish girl with Rue? So glad you asked. The answer is yes, absolutely. This bitch needs a win like now. We see her socks later in this episode and it's not looking too hot, okay? The least we could do is get her a girlfriend. But before we get into that, I want to talk to you about a company that is very near and dear to my heart, and that is NOCD. I got a question for you. Do you ever feel like you're never completely sure about what actually happened? Maybe you're constantly wondering stuff like, what if the way I acted last night was really offensive, but I just can't remember. Was everybody just too polite to call me out on it? Am I a problematic freaking non-binary mess? Or hang on. I think I paid for my coffee this morning, but did I really? Well, I got news for you. These experiences could be OCD. And let me tell you, if this is you, I am right there with you, buddy. I have had so many uncomfortable, disturbing thoughts, and I tried everything to make them go away, including rituals, which only made Miss OCD come back stronger than ever. So this totally sucks, right? But I do also have good news for you. It is entirely possible to get better. OCD is highly treatable with the right kind of specialized therapy, specifically ERP, otherwise known as exposure and response prevention. And NOCD is the world's leading provider of this therapy. In fact, every single one of their therapists specialize in OCD and ERP. Therapy with NOCD is 100% virtual, and they accept insurance for over 138 million Americans. Plus, you get support between sessions, so you're never facing OCD on your own. So if you've been having distressing, unwanted thoughts, or constantly second-guessing your memory, go to NOCD.com and book a free call with their team so you can learn more about how they can help. That's NOCD.com. That's exactly how I got diagnosed and I started getting better. That is NOCD.com. Thank you for sponsoring me. Now back to the video. So Rue goes and delivers the Fent to Lori, and she unfortunately ends up adding that car that she failed to bring over the border onto her ever-accumulating tab. And at this point, you're like, oh yeah, it sucks that she owes her so much money, but you're yet to realize the extent of work that she's doing for Lori. Like, once they show what the fuck she's about to do, you feel that tab running up. Basically, she has to swallow big ass balloons filled with Fent using some slimy KY jelly so it will slide down her esophagus, which is a real practice that I was blissfully unaware of until this moment. Also, unfortunately, a lot of people die from this. As you can imagine, it's quite easy for these things to pop and send you straight to the Crypt Keeper. Anyways though, Rue ends up enlisting the help of Faye, a character from season 2 played by none other than Chloe Cherry, and she gets her in on this scheme. And they proceed to carry these Fent balls inside of themselves all the way across the border. And all the marinating that these things are doing in Chloe Cherry's tummy causes her to become very flatulent.
Yo, sorry.
But this farting, you know, is perhaps where we do start getting into the territory of, is this actually contributing to the plot that much, or is Sam a fart guy? Cause goddamn, she's ripping ass.
Damn.
And Rue really has the audacity to ask her, what did you eat?
Hey, the fuck did you eat?
Girl, what the fuck? And a border protection officer person asks Rue what she was doing in Mexico. And she lies, of course, by telling him that she was just showing her girl how the mamacitas do it down here.
I was just showing my girl how the mamacitas do it down here.
Meanwhile, Faye's in the passenger seat just looking fucking ill.
St. Valentine?
Looking worse than me after I woke up with new boobs.
Feels bad.
Do you want to have a sip of water?
Feels bad, man. Frog.
And upon entering back into America with these things, Rue is also out of control farting. And a man picks her up and carries her over to a strainer so she can shit it all out. Meanwhile, Faye, doing worse than ever, says she had an accident.
Where are you doing?
I had an accident.
And we see the goddamn poop dripping down her leg. And you were probably hoping that's where this scat stuff would end. But no, Sam Levinson said, let's throw an animal into the mix. I think that would be interesting. So a dog runs up behind her and starts licking it off her ass. Mind you, she doesn't try to stop the damn thing. I understand that dogs are like the worst person ever to be around when there's bodily fluids afoot. Like, try being around a dog when you're on your period, like seriously. But you can't tell me that as soon as you feel a dog's snout anywhere near your you-know-what, that you're not fighting for your life. But to make matters worse somehow, in the next scene, we actually see them using that same poop strainer to make pasta for everyone. And you know what? Peace and love, you know, there is so many crazy, audacious things that are constantly happening in film and television, and I feel like I would be willing more so to give all of this grace if it wasn't in conjunction with like everything Sam Levinson has already done and continues to do. I'm sorry, I just find it a little bit weird. But moving on, Rue goes to Lexi's house, who, if you don't recall, is Cassie's sister. Cassie being the character played by none other than Sydney Swastika. And Lexi is basically telling Rue that she's gotta get her shit together, because outside of this fentball madness that she's living in, she's doing Uber as a side hustle, which Lexi believes is just another job that will be replaced by robots and AI.
Pretty soon, Uber drivers are going to be extinct. It's all going to be automated, like AI. They're not going to need people like you.
Pause. It's unclear to me why this is, but for some reason, I do find it off-putting to hear these characters talking about AI. Perhaps it's because Euphoria, or the original way the show used to be, at least, had a very stylized, mystified feeling about it. And although there was a ton of like pop culture references, those references were more so used to build upon each character, such as like, you know, the One Direction fan fiction scene and stuff like that. But now, not only is the show lacking in style or color, if you haven't been able to see some of the slides on the wall very well, I'm sorry, I also can't see them that well. This show is dark. It's dark now. And if not dark, then it's yellow, because we're in Mexico. We gotta put the piss filter on. So really, I guess what I'm trying to say is that they need to change the name of the show to Just Feeling Alright. As far as Rue's character goes though, she is still being extremely well acted by Zendaya, of course, and that automatically makes it easier to feel endeared to her. Is that a word? She's also Sam Levinson's self-proclaimed self-insert character. He feels most connected with her. Therefore, it's not that surprising that he treats her with the utmost respect. But good luck if you're any of the other female characters. Like if you're Cassie, if you're Cassie, man, fuck you. Kiss my ass.
Fuck you.
Where were you born?
Kiss my ass!
As it was very clearly advertised and teased in all of the season 3 trailers, Cassie is now attempting to make it big on OnlyFans. And before I proceed, before I say anything further, please know that I respect sex workers. They have a very difficult job with challenges that no other person in any other job could possibly understand, like getting freaking dragged through the mud basically for doing something that like people are paying for, like people are paying for this and then simultaneously insulting you. Like that is the whole thing. And if you're a sex worker watching this, hey, hello, I hope you're having a good day. But with that being said, I really do feel like this was Sam creating a torture chamber for this character. Like first giving her lobotomy, then putting her in a chamber. The reason why I say lobotomy is because we've forgotten literally everything about this character. All of this character's history is gone out the goddamn window. She previously was a very emotionally conflicted character that had a lot of trauma, abandonment issues, desperation, and this whole OnlyFans thing doesn't feel like it's happening because she's reclaiming her power. Like she has a real passion for it, nor is it like emotionally tumultuous. Really, it could have gone in either one of those two directions, but instead it just feels like it's about her body being ogled by the camera. Like she's dressed up as a dog, she's eating out of a damn dog bowl, she's chewing up sneakers and dancing to a damn song that literally says she's the doggy. It's like, I don't know how we could really get more degrading than this. It's like, you know, Sabrina Carpenter, I don't know if she's problematic or not at this point, but you know, she was dragged through the mud for that one album cover, and then her album was filled filled with like satirical songs about men. This is like the actual issue that people thought that they were having with that album cover IRL. Does that make sense? Am I just fucking talking out of my ass?
Who's the doggy?
I'm the doggy.
Anyways, then fucking Nate Jacobs, one of the most volatile, violent, abusive dudes in the show, walks in through the door in his dude shoes because guess what? They're engaged now. And he's shocked to be witnessing their housemaid recording Cassie, you know, shaking her ass around in her tail and whatnot. And so he's like, what the hell is this? Are you some kind of whore? And then I shit you not, she pretty much has to explain what online sex work is.
I am growing my following. This brand might sponsor me. It's called monetization.
Literally, why wouldn't he know about that or that it's monetizable? Shit, maybe he's Amish too now. Seems like anyone can do it. But guys, the level at which Jacob Elordi is not putting his Alord Ussie into this scene is so apparent that it had people on Twitter speculating whether or not the two of them were even in the same room. Like, it really does just feel like neither one of them wants to be there.
Except you're not a doggy, you're a grown woman, so that makes you a what? A prostitute.
I mean, Jacob Elordi literally has a renowned award-winning acting career. I do feel like he could have better places to be. And duh, of course Sydney Sweeney has to make it to a ballot box somewhere so she can vote someone else's rights away. Let's not make her late for that, guys. Also, apparently Sydney is wearing her own lingerie brand in this scene. And it's just like, girl, put that shit on the clearance rack next to Khloe Kardashian's mid-ass popcorn. I don't need to be advertised to in a moment like this. Anyways, though, we then find out what the whole reason was behind Cassie putting on this show. I mean, I barely feel like I can actually call this a satisfying explanation for as to why Cassie got into doing this, because as I mentioned, I just feel like it doesn't really align with her character that much. Basically, it's because the house that Nate has them living in isn't fancy enough for her, and also she wants more fancy things for their wedding. Like, for example, she wants a renovation of the fucking master suite. What even is that?
I have only remodeled the living room, the kitchen, or the master ensuite.
Baby, we will.
These words mean nothing to me. And if it wasn't already really clear, the house that they live in is like exceptionally fucking luxurious, because apparently Nate has been making a fuck ton of money by taking over his dad's business, which is finance related, investing related. You know, lots of people have jobs that I don't understand what they are, but he has money and he wants to do these renovations. He just wants to wait a little bit. And Cassie's just like, no, which is so odd that this is happening. Like, genuinely, I just never really thought that I would see Nate Jacobs, a sinister character like this, to be having a very rational moment here.
Baby, we will. But right now, I'm investing in myself, in the business.
Like, what do you mean I'm agreeing with the frugality of Nate Jacobs?
Baby, I'm trying to give you everything that you want.
It doesn't feel that way.
Since when is he docile and harmless? Like, when he tells her that he doesn't want to spend $50,000 on floral arrangements for their wedding.
I'm not spending $50,000 on floral arrangements.
She says like the craziest shit ever to him.
Well, then we have a really big problem. I didn't wait my entire life to have a ghetto wedding.
$50,000 floral arrangements? Girl, I'm bored. Let's go feed the homeless or something. But then this is when Jacob Elordi says something that comes out so unfathomably unsexy.
You've been a bad dog.
Genuinely, how is that possible? It's like Sam Levinson has like forcefully extracted the sex appeal from these gorgeous individuals. Computer, make this guy super not horny. I think there is genuinely one biblically accurate Cassie moment in this episode though, and it's a super quick scene where you see her stalking Maddie, aka Nate's ex-girlfriend. This adds up more than ever just knowing the whole reason why we're here in the first place, because Maddie was Cassie's best friend and she betrayed her by going behind her back and being with Nate. Oh, and hang on. I almost forgot to mention this. Now is as good of a time as ever to mention that there are screenshots floating around that show that at some point during this season, Cassie is going to be dressed up like a baby and doing age play on OnlyFans, which I don't think I can show you that picture, but I doubt you wanted to see it anyways, because Carreon Truthers, we don't play around with weird shit like that. And as gross as that is, there is yet another horrifying screenshot floating around from the trailer where it does appear, I hope this isn't the case, I think everyone hopes this isn't the case, but it does look like Cassie might be getting assaulted. Again, obviously not gonna show you that, and we can all really hope this isn't the case, but because this is Euphoria, because this is Sam Levinson, the future does seem pretty bleak for our female characters here. But anyways, we switch back to Lexi and Rue, who are just chit-chatting with each other now at a laundromat, and this is when we hear the first whisperings about Jules, aka clearly the best character in the show besides Rue, who is played by the oh so beautiful, oh my god, Hunter Schafer. God, my entire city fucking loves Hunter Schafer. Every time I go to a gay club or a gay bar, in the bathroom there's a sticker that reads Hunter Schafer Defense League. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. But as a quick reminder to people who have not watched this show and are just kind of like, hey Nikki, I'm just watching this because I want to have fun with you. Jules is Rue's first love and ex-girlfriend, and the information we find out here is that she is working as a sugar baby.
Don't tell her I told you, but Maddie told me she's a sugar baby.
We then cut to Maddie, who is also receiving this sugar baby news from Lexi, and she's like, what? She doesn't have sex with them? That's like hiring a chef that won't cook.
That's like hiring a chef who doesn't cook.
And I saw somebody point out on Twitter that in this scene, there was like a strange, quiet kind of moment after she says this before the transition, and that Labyrinth's music would have filled in that silence like perfectly, and now I just can't unhear it.
It's like hiring a chef who doesn't cook. You ready?
Maddie worked in management.
Like, guys, once you notice this, it's crazy. Pizzazz is absolutely extracted now. We really didn't know what we had with Labyrinth until it was gone. We then cut to Rue, who's talking to her sponsor, Ali, at a diner, and they discuss where she's at with her relationship with drugs and how she's accepted that she's an addict and, you know, she is working to get better, but also that she is showing a big interest in becoming religious now. Like, this is like the reverse of what happens with Mormons typically. Like, typically you get a Mormon that comes to your door and it's like, hey, are you interested in this? And you're like, no thanks, okay? Rue shows up to the Mormons and is interested in them. Is there a religious psychosis in her near future? That's yet to be determined. But now we're in the climax of this episode, and Rue has to go on a quest to deliver some drugs from Lori to a pimp whose name is Alamo. And she notices that there's like a huge fucking party rager happening at this guy's house. So she asks if she could go take a leak in the bathroom. But instead of doing that, she finds out there's tons of babes there, and she starts lezzing out and dancing with them. Can we blame her? The folks on Twitter are calling her Studea. This quickly does a U-turn from really funny to a completely bizarre turn of events though, because her and Alamo the pimp start chopping it up about women. And you know, not that there's like never been a lesbian that has talked about women in like a degrading way. I'm sure that happens all the time. You know, people are people. But this conversation is like exceptionally odd to me because like this is just like not behavior that we've ever seen Rue do before. Like, he tells her that he's in the business of selling pussy, and she's just like, oh shit, my man. I'm confused how or when Rue became like overtly sexual, let alone somebody who condones what potentially might be sex trafficking. I don't know. I'm not 100% clear on what this is. He says he owns like 6 strip clubs, but then he keeps talking about how he sells them. I don't know if that's a figure of speech or not, but clearly either way, this guy is a huge sleazebag. And Rue, knowing this, like begs him for a job. Either way, shit hits the fucking fan at this point, because one of the strippers at this party spontaneously dies. And upon testing the drugs, they find out that what Rue brought to them had been laced. And this leads Alamo to confront Rue, accusing accusing her of knowingly giving them the crap, you know, the fen. And Rue obviously tells them that she had no idea and that actually, you know, why would she even stay there if she knew she had laced somebody? She also sprinkles in some sympathy points here by saying that she had a feeling when she met Alamo that God brought them together. So Alamo decides to test if God believes in her, and he takes her to a cliffside, puts a damn Granny Smith on her head, and aims a gun precariously at the fruit. Both fruits. And of course, she's not gonna fucking die in the first episode. Although this does feel more like a Quentin Tarantino movie than it does like Euphoria. So her death somehow wouldn't feel as out of place as it should. But she survives, obviously, and that is where the episode ends. There it is, folks. An episode of darkness, no pretty colors, no pretty music, no pretty music, no pretty makeup, characters that don't behave like themselves, and dog shit poop content. Wow, wowee. I cannot wait to see where this train wreck goes. Let me know if you want me to keep doing this every week. Again, I totally will, and I'll keep up with it. This was kind of a last minute decision to do, but next week, if you'd like, I'll have that out before Sunday. Thank you so much.